Hi, my name is Emma Spiegler and I'm a love, relationship and sexuality coach, and I really want to talk about completing the stress cycle. So this is something that really doesn't get spoken about that much, and so I really wanted to share more information about the importance of releasing stress through our body. So not just talking about it, not just offloading by speaking and sharing about what has been stressful for us, but actually expressing it and letting it through and releasing it through the body. So there is this book by Peter Levine called In an Unspoken Voice, and this book summarizes his 45 years of research of studying animals in the wild and looking at and observing how they behave in response to stress and when they feel threatened and when they are attacked. He looks at how trauma is stored in the body. And you might be watching this and thinking, well, I haven't gone through a major traumatic event, so this doesn't specifically apply to me. However, what he's also looking at, that it's not just the trauma with a big capital T, it's also the small traumatic events, which we might not perceive as being traumatic. However, it's the chronic stress that we go through every day on a daily basis that gets accumulated in our body and gets stored up in our body, and we're not letting it go and we're not releasing it through our body. What he found by observing animals is how quickly they recover from shock and a state of threat in their bodies by going through this natural process of releasing the shock and discharging it from their bodies and their system. And likewise, as children, we have this natural innate capacity to release this and discharge our stress and our frustrations. And it's something that we lose and we're conditioned out of as adults. So for instance, if you're walking down the street and you're standing at the traffic lights and you hear a sudden honking of a horn, a car horn, then it can send this shock into the body, and maybe you might even get a bit of an adrenaline surge. And it's these types of small shocks and daily stresses that happen in our body that if we don't discharge them, they can build up over time and cause problems and issues for us. So the first stage of completing a stress cycle is the beginning stage, which is I am feeling at risk. And then the second stage is taking action. So this is where we need to complete the stress cycle in one way or another through the body. And then the final stage is where we feel safe. We've taken action, we've let that stress, we've moved it through our body, and we're now feeling back to a sense of safety in our biological system, in the primal parts of the brain. So I'm now going to demo some completing the stress cycle exercises, which will help train your body to handle the completion process. So ideally, to do these exercises when you're actually feeling okay, you're not dealing with any major stress. And then when a major stressor happens in your life, you'll be able to naturally move into completing the stress cycle because you've been training your mind and body to do it in this way. So the first completing the stress cycle exercise is the pillow raging. And this is really good for if you've noticed or you've become aware that you have either moved into a freeze mode or a fight mode. So with this pillow raging exercise, it really can help with completing a rage or anger cycle. What you want to do is you want to interlace your fingers so that you're not hurting your hands when you do this exercise. And you want to make sure that you're sounding, as sounding is a really powerful way to move that energy up and out through the body, as well as physically releasing it. So I'll just demo a few punching to the pillows so you can see what it looks like and sounds like. So I feel really good after that release, and I highly recommend you trying this exercise after watching it. So the next exercise is the tantrum, and this is really good if you become aware or you've observed in yourself that you have either moved into the fight response or the flight response. This is something we actually naturally do as children. We have these tantrums, and it's something that we've been conditioned out of. We've been blocked from expressing as adults. So this is my favourite one actually, the tantrum, and I'm just going to demo how it looks now. So again, it's really important to sound through this, and this one's great because it's engaging the legs as well as the arms part of the body. So you want to lie down And then you want to just move into a tantrum, basically like children. I'm sure we've all seen it before. So that's like a much more full-bodied experience than the last one, and it's just such a great way to release any pent-up stress or frustrations from the day, from the week out of your body. And if you're in a place where you feel like you can't actually sound as loudly as I just did because of your neighbours, then you can still do the sounding, and you can just quiet it down a bit and kind of do like a 2 out of 10 volume and level. So you still have the experience of using your voice and moving your voice through your body, but just not as loudly. And then the last exercise I'd like to demo is the kick with the no. And this is really good when you've noticed that you've moved into a fight response. And this is when you've had your boundaries crossed in some way, or you felt like you did something where you wanted to say no and you weren't able to say no. So this is a great way of releasing that through the body. So you want to be lying down again, so on a supported surface for your back. And then you're going to be kicking your legs, and you're going to be kicking and saying no, either saying it or shouting it, depends what kind of environment you're living in and how loud your voice can be used. So I'll just demo how it looks and sounds now. And when you're saying no, you really want to engage your no. You want to sound it from your gut rather than up here in your chest, which is actually quite difficult to do because a lot of us are speaking or breathing up here from our chest rather than from lower in the belly. So I'm just going to use my awareness to just breathe into my belly for a few breaths so I can engage my no and speak it from this lower part of my body. No. 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 So that one has kind of made me a bit sweaty actually, and a bit flushed in the cheeks, so it's definitely doing something for me in terms of engaging my body and releasing through my legs. It's quite a powerful exercise, even though I've only just moved my legs and said no about 6 or 7 times. So if you've liked this video, then click on the subscribe button, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the future.